First off, start with the dough.
Tip 500 grams of strong bread flour into a mixing bowl and add 20 grams of semolina.
That gives the focaccia its sort of rustic charm. Now, there's one thing focaccia needs, it's really good seasoning. You can't season bread after it's baked, so it's got to go in right at the very beginning.
Sprinkle in 15 grams of dried yeast.
Take some warm water and then 50 mils of olive oil. Top up that water. That gives it its really nice, silky, rich texture. Make a little well. Mix up that yeast, water and oil in. Start off with the fingers. Keep the fingers nice and open. It's like a little sort of whisk going in there. I'm looking for a really nice sort of relaxed dough. Now, that's just starting to come together. Touch more water. With the oil in there, give it a little swirl. And in again. The secret is to sort of knead it gently. Don't overwork it. It's a sort of easy bread to make. A nice one to start off with when you're making bread for the first time. Basically, kneading means just knit it together. Just hanging. Lightly flour your board, and let's just knead that focaccia into a nice, smooth dough. Make sure you don't over-add too much flour, otherwise it sort of dries out the dough. Something quite magical about making bread. You can switch off and lose yourself. My first job for a 3 Michelin-star establishment was a baker. I was 22 years of age and I used to start at midnight. I was under such a tight schedule. 1 o'clock white bread done, 2 o'clock brown bread, 3 o'clock sourdough, 4 o'clock cheese bread, 5 o'clock prove, bake, 6 o'clock crack them open and taste. It was amazing. Beautiful. Look at that. Looks stunning. It hasn't even risen yet.
Leave your dough to rise in a warm place till it's doubled in size. We call this proving.
Look at that. Beautiful. A lot of chefs sort of knead it for the second time, but I'm looking for a really nice, light, aerated focaccia. Take a tray, touch of olive oil in there, season it at the bottom. Really important. That's the exciting thing about focaccia. You've got that really nice sort of salty top and salty bottom. And just with a touch of olive oil on your hands, gently push that in and almost massage it into the corners. It's possible to put sort of olives and tomatoes and garlic through the dough, but it never really allows the dough to sort of aerate properly when you put so much ingredients in. I'm going to stick mine on top. Use your finger and sort of just push them in. Some salt on top, some pepper on top as well. I want some nice, fresh, amazing rosemary. Just hold the stalk and just pull off, and then just sprinkle down. Generous on the rosemary. Really important to have that nice fragrance on top of the focaccia. Finish it off before it goes in with a little drizzle of olive oil. So it almost sinks in those little pockets of flavour. Olive, tomato, rosemary and olive oil into the oven.
Bake your focaccia at 200 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes.
Beautiful. Smells delicious. Beautiful. You can hear how crispy that is. You can't beat a nice, warm, fresh slice of home-cooked focaccia. It's rustic, charming, and it's the perfect way to start making homemade focaccia. It's so addictive. One nicely skinned salmon, just like a perfect snake skin.
Because sliders are bite-sized burgers designed to go in small buns, you don't want to make them too big.